Paul Perillo joins us now in our Town for Tire Studios. Hi, Paul.
Michael, how are you? Haven't seen you in a while.
Haven't seen you in a while. It's good to see you, man.
Yeah, I've seen the boys.
Okay.
Unfortunately.
Well, I mean, what can I tell you?
It's not nice. And I actually took your advice on a show, that shrinking show. I've enjoyed it.
Yeah,
I've
it's good,
enjoyed
isn't
the
it?
first couple, and now
Yeah.
he's got to rip me.
You're welcome.
But it's good to see
no one has
you,
any idea what you're
Michael.
talking about, most notably
Shrinking.
me.
Everybody knows except for you
There's a
because
show-
you
yeah.
don't know anything about anything other than sports.
Paul asked me for-
Self-proclaimed sports dork.
Thank
I
you.
like it.
Paul asked me for a streaming recommendation last week off the air. I don't know why he brought it up now, but since he did,
I was just letting you know I took you up on
Just
it.
to confuse and digress our listeners.
Just trying to...
Listen!
crab ass.
What's going on down there, Paul?
It's a shell game.
What's going on down there?
Well, I don't think it's been a great camp. I mean, overall, if you're looking for the big picture, but the number one positive to me, and this is really, I think, the only thing that matters, is I think Drake Maye looks better and better every day. I think he looks more comfortable in what he's doing. I don't know specifically how much he's being asked to do, but from the very start, I mean, physically we know it's all there. I think he looks better and better every day in 11-on-11. When he has time, he generally gets rid of the ball accurately and on time. Now, there have been times where the offensive line doesn't afford him that luxury and it hasn't looked as good, but for the most part, I see a guy who's ascending, and I think that's all anybody would want.
Okay.
So is that that's
No.
a sunshiny take,
I mean,
right?
But I want more.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't know how fast he's going to be ready
I want
to
the
play.
team to be as good as they can be. Which, as you know, I'm not saying good or great, but I want them to be as good as they can be. I'm not willing to write off a season and say it's just about a rookie quarterback.
Well, I mean, I'm not telling you that they want to lose games. I just don't think that they have a lot of pieces in place that are going to win very many games. I mean, I just don't see it. But, I mean, other than Drake Maye playing at a level, you know, kind of like C.J. Stroud did last year. I know that's the easy cliche, but if he lifts the team, then they can be better than we think. Otherwise, I think we've seen a pedestrian offense at best, and at worst, a really bad one. You know, that they struggle.
Paul Perillo is going to join us this hour. You can join the conversation at 617-779-0985. I want to ask you, why on Monday, when Gerard Mayo was asked, do you see this as being a competition between the two of them? He answers, I do. And that we have 3 more practices, so it's our job as coaches to evaluate, so it's definitely still a competition. The whole tone and the whole direction of that statement is to say, yes, it's a competition, and we're going to see it on the field. And then we get on the field, and either Drake Maye isn't playing with the ones or is just handing off with the ones. That doesn't feel like a competition to me. So why does Gerard Mayo still keep promoting it publicly?
I don't have a good answer for that, other than that's kind of what I think all coaches do, is they always talk about how there's no jobs, you know, that are set in stone. And I mean, he called out Christian Gonzalez earlier in training camp, talking about depth at corner, and he said he needs to reestablish his level as well. So I just kind of think it's what coaches do. But I understand what your point. It's kind of a contradictory message when he's talking about we have a plan, but there's a competition, and if May does X, Y, and Z, he can still start week 1. I personally have moved past I mean, I don't know. I don't have any information. I know you guys like to tease me on that, but I don't see him as being a realistic possibility for week 1. I think we'll see him sooner than later, but I don't think it'll be week 1.
Do you think Mayo is relatively powerless in that decision?
No, I think it's just what he says. I think it's about all of them. I think it's, he has talked about Alex Van Pelt being the head coach of the offense, and I think he is leaning heavily on that group. The guys that have been around quarterbacks, T.C. McCartney, Ben McAdoo, and Alex Van Pelt. I think he's leaning on their input, but he's the head coach. I mean, ultimately, if he just says, point taken, I get what you're saying, he's playing, then that's what will happen.
You think so?
I don't think he's ready for that yet.
I don't think that's what happens.
Yeah, I mean, you might be right. You might be right. I feel like he has final say over who actually plays. He actually had an answer.
Well, he joked.
Today.
He jokingly said, "I'd like to think that I decide who plays." But when he's asked specifically about the quarterback thing, Kevin, again, give me number 23 again. When he's asked specifically about the quarterback, this is what he said. I don't know if you heard it.
When it comes to the quarterback, then just
back to the quarterbacks. Can we just group the quarterback questions
I
or
just
something?
feel like it's really important to put
It is important. It is important.
Is it Alex's decision who the starting quarterback is?
It's between Alex, myself, Elliott, and the rest of the offensive staff. I think our goal is to put the best team that we can put out there.
Okay, so it's between myself, Alex, Elliott, and the staff. It doesn't sound like a guy that's got final say on the thing.
No, but he has final say over who's on the field. He said that today. Now
It was kind of joking.
No, I know he
so-
did. He goes, "I'd like to think I have final say."
He
over
said,
who's-"
"I would like to think,"
Yeah.
and I, Kevin, I meant to. What was that part of number 15? I do want to. He definitely said that, but it was kind of with I thought a little laugh, and it was I would like to think.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of a sarcastic laugh, as if to say, like, if I'm the head coach and I don't have say over who's on the field, I mean, what are we doing here?
I don't think
That's
he's final
kind-
say on the quarterback.
On who plays?
Yep.
Okay.
If he said, I want to go Drake May today, do you think that Drake May would be the starting quarterback?
Yeah, I do.
I
If
don't.
he decided that Drake May was ready to play,
I don't.
you think he'd get overruled by who?
Yeah.
Ownership?
Jonathan?
Maybe.
I don't think that that's happening. I don't think they're coming in from up top. So Bill's gone, now we can control everything. I don't think that's happening.
I mean, they did say they wanted to control their team back. They got it. You don't think there's like a hierarchy?
No, I mean, listen, they've given Elliott Wolf. I mean, Gerard Mayo was very clear that Elliott Wolf has control over the roster. When they asked Gerard Mayo about cutdown day, he said
the roster, yes.
he said that's Elliott. And he was very clear and definitive about that. He's also been very clear and definitive in telling us Alex Van Pelt is head coach offense. So I think, Paul, this was preconceived. From Elliott Wolf's background in Green Bay, where they held back a couple of guys, and it worked. And Alex Van Pelt coming from that tree and being hired by, I guess, Elliott Wolf. And so they set this out. They set this thing in motion in the spring. And that's been the plan. And if Gerard Mayo wants to break the plan, they're not going to let him. Like
Yep.
this is what they've been planning to do from day one.
So let me ask you this: do you think? How do you think Mayo feels about it? Do you think he would want him to play right now? How do you think he feels? Or do you think there's?
I'm guessing that he's in the May camp. That he's in the play May camp.
Okay,
It's a guess.
My guess is the opposite, and I have sort of a theory, and I don't know if it's accurate, and might be one of those Felger and Mazz dark kind of theories.
Love it.
The faster he plays, the faster the clock starts on the Mayo regime.
Agreed.
So if you sit him for a little while, you're buying yourself some time. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
well, he only played half a year. So, I mean, I can't see any scenario in which Mayo is gone after 1 year.
Me neither.
Unless there's something off the field. Like, it's got to be way more than just football. So he's got 2 years. I think the less that May plays his rookie year almost guarantees him a third year.
I don't know about that. I think it all comes down to what he looks like in year two, whether he plays year one or not. But for example, Mac Jones was perfectly fine as a rookie. Didn't save anyone's job. It's what he looks like in year 2 and 3, and that's it. That's what it's going to come down to.
Right. He was terrible in year 2. And where did Bill go?
Special
Now,
circumstance. don't you think?
understood there's a little bit of a difference with a guy who won 6 titles. But, a lot of people, you guys included, were calling for him, after that year.
Oh, yeah.
And he got another year, and I think largely because of the rookie quarterback. Well, the young quarterback at that time.
How do you feel about the plan and what they're doing?
I see.
Would you have accelerated May?
Excuse me. I see. Listen, I love this guy. And I've told you guys at the draft that I was really high on him, and I think there's definitely some potential there. I need to see a little bit more of a smooth operation when it comes to the basics. And again today, they're out of the huddle, they're at the line, they're back in the huddle for one of those plays that we're all talking about with the first group. And I think that they need to eliminate that stuff. We need to eliminate the fumbled snaps. We need to eliminate the double clutches in the pocket. It's to be expected. Everything that I've seen is pointing in the right direction for May. He doesn't look to me like a guy who's ready to play against Cincinnati. That's all.
And you're a May guy, and you don't think he's ready.
I'm a May guy. I would be perfectly fine if they sat him out for, I don't know,
One month.
A month?
Yeah, and you okay?
So now we know why they put him with the ones, to see if he could line up.
Well, no, like I think,
And he couldn't.
I'll give you my theory on the ones too. I think there was a lot of stuff preparing for Washington today. They were doing a lot of things off cards. The defense was working off cards. I think you're going to see a lot of May Sunday night, and that's why he was. I wouldn't be surprised if he started Monday night.
Right.
Now
Sunday night.
Sunday night, yes. Gerard did say specifically that all 4 would play, so that would give you guys a show on Monday. If Maye started and then Brissett came in, like if Maye starts and Brissett doesn't play, nothing to see here. But if Maye started and then Brissett came in, you got something to talk about.
This is becoming a very sort of popular thing now that I wouldn't be surprised if Maye started Sunday night.
Well, I'm just judging off the practice today.
I know. Zolak said it today on Zolak and Bertrand.
No, but because Mayo said they're all going to play and I'll keep the rest close to the vest. So what is that? He's implying something's going to change here. And so
I always smell a rat when Zoe says something.
Okay. What else, Paul? Let me ask you. This is what I want to ask.
Go ahead.
So you were a big Maye guy pre-draft, a big Maye guy coming here. If you're being honest, are you a little disappointed with how he's looked in the first month? Did you think he would be farther along? Because for a while there, it was looking. I mean, it feels like he's, coming on now.
I would say,
but in balance.
I would say probably yes. The way he started training camp, he looked better to me. Doing the stuff that he was doing in the spring, and then when camp started, it looked really sloppy. And I was a little surprised by that. And that's the big issue for me: the false starts, the delay of games, the not being on the same page.
There's
the
always a false
snaps.
start with him. Like why are there so many false starts when he's on the field?
The joint practice last week had I think 7 false starts.
Okay, and I'm telling you,
along with the 14.
And it wasn't that wasn't all with Maye, by the way. That was Brissett too.
But I watched his Clemson game last year. They must have false started 8 times.
Okay, so that's interesting.
So what is it? Does he not? Is his cadence off, or he doesn't?
He doesn't command.
He's just not dialed in. Like there's something there.
There is something on the command of the huddle. I mean, I know it's kind of cliche, but getting a chance to talk to like the McCourties and Brian Hoyer the last couple of weeks, they talk a lot about that stuff. Like Hoyer obviously more so than Devin and Jason, but there is sort of a process of calling these plays. These West Coast plays are kind of cumbersome with their verbiage, and maybe it's just a little something he's got to get used to.
Okay.
That's causing some of the issues.
I feel like we've got a lot of corporate doublespeak here from the Patriots front office.
Oh, there's a shock.
Well, I aim to please.
That's there you go.
No, I'm looking forward to the next practice when he hands off.
If you like that clip, check out more videos from Felger and Mazz here. For more Patriots analysis and opinion, hit this playlist. And for all the latest from the Sports Hub, download the app at 985thesportshub.com.